2018 Toyota 4Runner Review. In case you're going rough terrain, consider the 2018 Toyota 4Runner. It's a trusty apparatus for any sort of campaign, however it's not all that cultivated around town. To the extent Cory runs go, the 2018 Toyota 4Runner is one that we've looked for some time. Like Seinfeld, its garments are dated, however its topics figure out how to remain pertinent even today. It procures a 5.7 on our general scale. It's not a decent pick for families searching for an around-town suburbanite, yet it's a champion for end-of-the-week warriors searching for a proficient 4-enterway 4x4 fan, like a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, however with more refined propensities. The 2018 4Runner is accessible in SR5, TRD Off-Road, TRD Pro, and limited trim levels. This year, 3 new hues enter the 4Runner's palette, and both TRD trims can be spruced up with uncommon matte dark wheels for an additional cost. Each 4Runner is controlled by a 4.0-liter V6 appraised at 270 strength and 278 pound-feet of torque that sends energy to either the back or every one of the 4 wheels through a 5-speed program. That is not cutting edge, nor is the 4Runner's different stepping stool casing and its loop-sprung strong back pivot. Those trucky roots pay profits rough terrain, particularly in the 2 TRD models. While even the 4Runner SR5 is a mountain goat, the TRD Off-Road includes alluring highlights like a locking back differential and a multi-mode footing control framework. TRD Pros run assist with a light suspension lift, off-road tires, and Bilstein stuns. Toyota has 2 essential countenances for the 4Runner, and they every one of the somewhat furious. Looks are subjective, yet we laud the 4Runner for emerging from the group, at any rate remotely. Inside, things are somewhat more gloomy, even in full watercraft 4Runner Limiteds. Hard plastics proliferate, in spite of the fact that they are finished pleasantly. In advance, there's average space yet a traded-off view out. The second line is conventional, yet the discretionary third line is for kids, as it were. One more place the 4Runner is obsolete is its security record. Crash test scores aren't first-rate, and the 4Runner is one of couple of new vehicles to need propelled well-being tech like program crisis braking. 2018 Toyota 4Runner styling. The 2018 Toyota 4Runner's cut-up look has gotten comfortable, yet it's no less attractive. It's trendy, if polarizing, and we've granted it a point better than expected. Its inside, in the interim, doesn't do so much for us, which takes it back to a mediocre 5 out of 10. Read more about how we rate autos. The current year's 4Runner SR5 and TRD trims have a similar fundamental styling with a eye-level grille that seems to stick out a bit. The base of the front guard delves in profoundly, which enhances the approach point. The Toyota Limited is spruced up with chrome, including a vast strip over its front guard that resembles a sparkly mustache to us. From the side, all models are basically a similar 2-box shape, despite the fact that Limiteds exchanged the 17-inch wheels on different models for taller 20s with less sidewall. At the back, the 4Runner looks somewhat disconnected, with some surprising bends and erratic identification situation. The unmistakable taillights fitted to all models are another return to a look that was en vogue 10 years prior. Inside, the 4Runner's dash isn't profound, which puts the windshield near drivers and travelers. That is a shelter for rough terrain perceivability, however it prompts an inside that feels more claustrophobic than it truly is. It's not a snappy place, but rather it does for the most part take care of business. Controls are by and large orchestrated well, with the sound framework mounted high on the dash and blocky, cartoonish atmosphere handles taking up impressive land beneath. On TRD trims, more switches and handles sit flying machine style in the overhead comfort for different rough terrain capacities. It's an odd situation, yet given that these are intermittent utilize highlights for most drivers, we're okay with that. 2018 Toyota 4Runner performance. It's not quick and it doesn't deal with especially well, but rather the 2018 Toyota 4Runner has a few trap suspension setups prepared to assault pretty much any sort of trail. We've evaluated it a 6 out of 10 in like manner, including focuses for its mountain goat nature and suspension tech while pulling off one for its messy guiding. Read more about how we rate autos. The present 4Runner comes just with a 4.0-liter V6 motor evaluated at 270 strength and 278 pound-feet of torque. It's matched to a 5-speed program that is down a machine gear piece or 4 versus the business ideal. S or 5 and limited models offer a decision of back or 4-wheel drive, while both TRD grades are typically just accessible as 4x4s. To be perfectly honest, a back-wheel drive 4Runner overlooks what's really important. That 4-wheel drive framework is an old-school, dangerous street just low-maintenance framework on S or 5 and TRDs. Limiteds include an advantageous programmed mode that can be left connected with over any sort of landscape. With a control weight upward of 4,500 pounds, 4Runners are corpulent, yet the V6 gives sufficient push. Its refined out of gear however can sing and not as much as smooth tune when squeezed into obligation. In any event, the 5-speed rushes to react to keep things going even up robust grades with travelers and payload on board. The 4Runner is evaluated to tow up to 5,000 pounds. That is not a great deal for an SUV, but rather it's sufficient to be certain with a littler pontoon or a movement trailer tied behind. The 4Runner's tall tires furnish it with a delicate ride that can turn bouncy over undulating asphalt. Its thick rim directing wheel indications at an energetic side, yet constrained guiding feel and light on focus attributes nix any musings at a fun evening of corner cutting. Limiteds are more created on their 20-inch haggles, their extraordinary X-race suspension that connections every one of the 4 tires to a safeguard situated under the focal point of the vehicle to decrease lean in corners. It works without the drawback of an awkwardly solid on-street ride. In any case, that is not what the 4Runner is about. Kill the parkway and onto an unpaid fire street and it makes its mark. Its 2-speed exchange case implies it can expertly navigate troublesome landscape at low speeds. Request up the TRD Off-Road or TRD Pro and you will net Toyota's clever crawl control, which is essentially Go 4x4 omping journey control. A dial mounted close to the guide light switches gives drivers a chance to choose a speed. By then, it's just about turning the controlling wheel. Slither control consequently applies the 4Runner's brakes to enable it to sneak over snags. It's alarmingly noisy as the anti-lock framework initiates, however it functions admirably. 4Runner TRD trims likewise have a push-catch locking back differential to better allocate control between the back wheels' rough terrain, and they have a handle to choose different distinctive footing control modes. Decide on the TRD Pro and you'll require beefier slide plates and Bilstein studs that take greater knocks at higher speeds in walk. The TRD Pro isn't accessible with the 4Runner's imaginative kinetic dynamic suspension system, KDSS, that is discretionary on the TRD Off-Road. In any case, this advantageous alternative combines additional expansive influence bars with water-powered actuators that naturally separate things for additional rough terrain verbalization. The upside to KDSS can be felt each day since it helps the 4Runner corner considerably more straight than the stock setup. 2018 Toyota 4Runner comfort and quality. The tall riding 2018 Toyota 4Runner requires a major jump to get in, yet once you're there, it's agreeable and screwed together well. We've included focuses for first and second column solace, fit and complete, and load room, yet we've subtracted for the high advance in stature and marginal unusable discretionary third line. With some math, that conveys things to a 6 out of 10. In advance, solidly steady skipper seats can be upholstered in texture, manufactured cowhide, or genuine calfskin, contingent upon the trim level. Our most loved here may be the phony stowaway for its hard-wearing nature and sensibly persuading feel. Second column travelers will discover better than average room at the detachable seats, a tumble-down armrest, and backrest that modify 16 degrees each. 3 side-by-side is somewhat tight, yet not irrational. The discretionary third line is an uncommon choice, and it's anything but difficult to perceive any reason why. It's difficult to get to and suited just for infrequent utilize. Column 3 doesn't consume up much room when stowed, notwithstanding. A base 4Runner highlights up to 47.2 cubic feet of load space behind the second column and about 90 shapes at greatest pulling room inside. Most 4Runners are optioned up with a clever sliding floor that can be hauled out for less demanding freight stacking. It ransacks a minor foot of payload space and is beneficial given how high off the ground the heap space is. 4Runners don't have a power back end, yet they compensate for that deficiency with a helpful power raise window that slides down at the press of a catch. It's as decent to load littler payload things as it is for windows down driving. 2018 Toyota 4Runner safety. Greater isn't generally better with regards to well-being, as the 2018 Toyota 4Runner demonstrates. It's antiquated with regards to its crash test scores and accessible innovative well-being hardware, which thumps it down to a 4 out of 10 on our scale. Every one of the 2018 4Runners accompany a rear-view camera, 8 airbags, security control, dynamic head restrictions, and automated stopping devices. In any case, that is about where the security tech stops. You won't discover blind side screens, program crisis braking, or impact notices here. Furthermore, the 4Runner's crash test scores aren't first-rate. The administration grants this SUV line 4 stars in general, including 4 for frontal crash assurance, 5 for side effects, and 3 for rollover.